So what's the difference between coding, programming, development, and software engineering? So most people confuse these. They actually, not only people, actually even hiring. If you look at the hiring adverts, so you find that they confuse these for terms. So in this video, what I want to do is to clarify, to give you technical differences between these. So let's start with the cheap one, which is coding. Now, coding is simply a process of representing stuff using some symbols. So the best example we can use here, let's look at a markup language like HTML. So when you get HTML, you can use HTML to represent maybe heading 1. So if you use HTML to represent heading 1 or heading 2 or a paragraph or an image, then that's simply coding. So the process of writing those symbols to represent stuff is called coding. Now, it turns out that there are some codes that you can write and they contain set of instructions to do some task. So, for example, you want to have some codes to represent a calculator. So in a calculator, it means that there are going to be some calculations. So that's a task, like maybe we want to do multiplications, something, or maybe we want to add stuff out. So in that case, those set of codes are going to be called programs. So if you write those codes, then what you're doing is that you're writing programs. So it means that for you, an example of tools you can use for programming are programming languages like JavaScript, Python, C#, and plus other languages like Go. Then within writing programs, there are people who build what you call applications. So remember, there are actually lots of kind of software, like system software, application software. So these people started calling themselves app developers, and then the word developer also went to other areas, like people can call themselves web developers, and even we have system developers. Now generally we can say everyone's just like some software developer. So a software developer is someone who is creating a software that's going to be used as an application somewhere. So maybe like that, but it's blurry about it. Now, so it means that technically a programmer is a developer or a software developer. No, a software developer is a programmer. Not a programmer is a software developer. So a software developer is a programmer, and then a programmer is a coder. But only that what a programmer is doing is more complex, and then what maybe, based on my own opinion, what an app developer is doing is more focused on applications. Now, what about software engineers? Now, most people, when they start building applications and when they start programming, building something, they are going to call themselves software engineers. And also sometimes some jobs, when they are putting adverts, the difference between software developer and software engineer is not clear. But technically, there is actually a difference. A software engineer is someone who understands software in depth. So it means that they not only have practical skills, they also have in-depth theoretical skills. So think of them like in a building like architects. So they know, for example, software architectures. They know, they are good in modeling systems. They understand how system interacts with other components of a computing. For example, they understand the effects on when you deploy this system, and they also sometimes understand lots of issues around human-computer interactions. And they are also, in most cases, skilled in product design. So they have some ideas about how to build a good product, so they can easily become maybe product managers. So most people who call themselves software engineers, they actually are not software engineers. They are developers, software developers, or or programmers, but not software engineers. Because if you test their understanding of the engineering part of it, the theory, and understand how software interacts with everything, they usually don't. They just maybe like, they learn some framework, they know how to build it. They just build, so you say, I want a system that does like this. They can build for you those features, but then they cannot think about how this will scale in the future, how to build software that's stable and efficient. So they don't focus much more on those areas of efficiency of software. So they only focus on whether the feature works. And most of them are actually in that categories. But anyway, most freelancers, people who learn software development outside traditional classroom, they usually are going to call themselves software engineers. But then it's open. You can call yourself anything to just feel good. But on the technical side, that's like the difference. So if you are the owner, maybe a CEO of some company, you can be able to organize your workforce around that. You know, person you should give software engineering title. You know, someone you should give software developing title, and so that you don't just confuse them. So that is it about coding, programming, development, and software engineering.